Hi, guys. It's Monday morning, and we are going to get ready to listen to our story for religion this week. This week, we're going to learn about the story of Adam and Eve. Now, Adam and Eve were the first people that God created, and we are going to learn how their choices had consequences. And we talk about it all the time in the classroom, don't we? How when we make a choice, if it's a good choice or a not so good choice, there's always a consequence, right? If we did the right thing, we usually get some type of reward. And if we choose to do the not so good thing, then usually there's a consequence, right? So we're going to hear about Adam and Eve and how their choice led to their consequence. All right. Adam and Eve. God had planned a beautiful garden for Adam in a place called Eden. A river flowed through the garden. So here's Adam. He's the first person that God created. He got to live in this beautiful garden. Sorry. Adam loved his new home. His job was to name all the animals and care for the garden. Adam loved all the animals, but he could not find a friend that was just right for him. So God created a woman. Adam named her Eve. She was just right for Adam. Adam and Eve loved each other, and together they took care of God's garden. Now we get to the part about the sneaky snake. The sneaky snake. Many trees grew in the Garden of Eden. God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat the fruit from any tree except for one. Never eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." So God said you can eat all the fruit you want, except for this one tree that you can't eat any fruit from. Now, there was a sneaky snake in the garden. One day, the snake saw Eve near the special tree. It hissed, "Did God really tell you not to eat the fruit from this tree?" Let's see what Eve does. The snake wanted Eve to disobey God. It said, "You should try some of this tasty fruit. If you eat it, you will be like God. You will be able to tell the difference between good and evil." So Eve knows that God said you can have any fruit from the trees, but you can't have the fruit on this tree. And the snake is trying to get her to disobey God. And remember, disobey means not listening, not following the direction. The fruit looked tasty. Eve remembered what God had said, but she ate the fruit anyway. Then Eve gave some to Adam, and he took a bite too. So they made the choice not to listen to God. They disobeyed what God had said. As the sun was going down, Adam and Eve heard God walking through the garden. He was looking for them. Adam and Eve hid among the trees, and they were afraid. Why do you think they were afraid? That's right, because God was looking for them. They were afraid because they chose to disobey God. "What have you done?" God asked. "Did you eat from the tree, from the forbidden fruit?" Adam said, "Yes, but Eve gave it to me." Eve said, "Yes, but the snake tricked me." God told the snake, "Because of what you did, you will always crawl on your belly." Then he told Adam and Eve, "Because you disobeyed me, you can no longer live in the garden." Adam and Eve left the garden. God placed angels and a flaming sword to guard the entrance. Adam and Eve would not be allowed in the garden again. So let's think for a second. God made Adam and Eve, and He made them a garden that they had to take care of and take care of the animals. But there was only one rule, and the one rule that God had was not to eat the fruit from the forbidden tree, right? And then along came the sneaky snake. And he told Eve, if you eat this fruit, you will be just like God. And Eve took the fruit and she ate some and gave it to Adam. Did they listen to God? Did they obey what God had said? They didn't. And because they chose not to listen, not to obey, there was a consequence. And the consequence was they had to leave the garden and they weren't allowed to come back. So, just like Adam and Eve have consequences for not obeying, we also have consequences for not obeying. It's not just God that we have to obey, it's also our parents, our grandparents, and all the people that ask us to make the good choices, right? So this week, each day, you're going to make a little craft to go along with a story. And today, you are going to make a snake, okay? And by the end of the week, you will be able to share the story with your family, okay? And I look forward to seeing what you guys create. I'll see you guys soon.